Hey guys, my name is KJOS and welcome to my new studio space. It's a new year, so I decided to move from where I used to record to this place. So I've been putting it up for a while and I'm not even done yet. It's like 90% because I still have like a few things to put up like posters and so many other things. Anyway, let's talk about the 5 best and the 5 worst things about the Pixel 5 in 2021 because I have been using this for the last 2 or 3 months and I have a lot to say for people that want to buy this phone or people are thinking of buying this phone. So let's get this party started. Okay, let's start with the good stuff, the battery life. With a lot of phones struggling to have great battery life due to a high refresh rate and 5G, a lot of phone companies tend to release big and chunky phones to put a huge battery inside. The Pixel 5 on the other hand has a smaller display, a high refresh rate of 90Hz, 5G, and a great battery life. After 3 months, the Pixel 5 is still a one-day phone and I range between 6 to 8 hours of screen on time on a daily basis and end my day with about 10 to 15%. Reducing its chipset to the Snapdragon 765G and having Android 11 on the Pixel 5 utilizes the battery pretty well. It's a 4080 mAh of battery and it's a huge leap from the Pixel 4, but it's not the highest by today's standard, but it also does the job pretty well. It supports wireless charging, and if you're interested in sharing your battery with your friend, it also supports reverse wireless charging in case you want to share your battery or you want to charge your earbuds. This is still the best battery life I have used on a phone in the last year. It's super reliable, and when you consider that 90Hz is on all the time, the battery life still blows my mind. Number 2, the display. One of the best things about the Pixel 5 is the beautiful display. It's not Samsung standard by any chance, but it's a huge improvement from its older models like the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 4. The display is an OLED panel with HDR10 Plus and has a max brightness of 475 nits and goes as high as 700 nits when adaptive brightness is on. You can definitely use this phone outdoors and you have nothing to worry about. The uniformity on the bezels gives Google and the Pixel 5 a few points in the design department. The bezels may not be the smallest out there, but they are symmetrical. The well-rounded corners are a welcome addition as curved edges trigger a lot of accidental touches and they are not really for me. The hole punch cutout on the top left is a nice addition and it's not noticeable when you're consuming content on the Pixel 5. Now just like the bezels on the Pixel 3 XL, after a while you forget it's there. The 90Hz refresh rate is a nice addition to the phone as it makes scrolling through your social media apps like Twitter and Instagram and other apps a lot better and more satisfying. If your Pixel 5 switches between 90Hz to 60Hz and is a bit distracting, you can head over to your developer settings and force 90Hz to be on all the time. Overall, Google gets good points for making this a great display on the Pixel 5. Next up at number 3, we have the operating system. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate stock Android a solid 8 over 10. They have probably one of the cleanest versions of Android that is out there, and I wouldn't really expect anything less from Google since they have prioritized software over hardware on the Pixel devices since its inception. Stock Android takes a less is more approach to its operating system. Other phones like Samsung, for example, they install their own versions of Google apps we use on a daily basis. So you have Google Chrome and you have Samsung's version of an internet browser. Same with their own app store and email accounts. It creates such a clutter and takes more space than stock Android. Apart from apps and bloatware, stock Android guarantees updates up to 4 years. They are the first to get security updates as well as beta features for an upcoming operating system that is about to launch. Compare that with other phones that take months or even years to send out updates to their phone, that people tend to upgrade their smartphones to the newest one so they can get the latest updates for their operating system. Number 4, the design. Now, this is one of my favorite designs from 2020 when it comes to smartphones. It's not really loud and it doesn't really grab anybody's attention. It's pretty minimalist and blends right in, and it reminds me of the Google Home and just how you can place your Google Home anywhere in the house and it just fits right in. Immediately you pick the Pixel 5 up, you notice how much grip the sides have due to its soft 100% recycled aluminum finish. A friend of mine said it's plastic and doesn't feel exactly premium, which may be true. It's plastic, but a premium feel might be very subjective. Personally, it feels great in my hand, and because of the solid grip it has, I use it without a case on most days. The aesthetics at the back is what we're already used to from Google and the Pixel phones. They went back to basics and added a very fast fingerprint scanner, ditching the face unlock from the Pixel 4. This is a great addition since we're in a pandemic and wearing a mask is mandatory. It just makes sense that phones this year should have a fingerprint scanner. The camera bump sort of blends in with the phone too. It doesn't necessarily stand out like the Samsung Note 20 Ultra and other phones. The buttons on the side are super clicky, symmetrical, and aren't hard to reach. There's a slight color difference between the power button and the volume button, keeping the general theme of the power button being a different color or shade than every other button on the Pixel devices. I really like the design of the Pixel 5. I mean, look at it. It's clean, it's minimalist, and literally has nothing wrong with it, especially at the back. I think this is going to be one of my top 5 designs in the past year for smartphones. Number 5, the camera. 3 months in and the Pixel 5 is still the best point and shoot camera on a phone till date. They still take the best still pictures than any other phone I have used in the past year. I find myself taking more pictures than usual because I knew they're going to come out looking great. The ultra wide is a nice addition to its setup. I barely use mine, but it's better than having a telephoto lens where you can just zoom in on the subject and have the desired effect. Night sight is a joy to have as Google's AI gets the right amount of contrast and color distribution on night sight shots. It also works with portrait mode and ultra wide mode, so you're covered on all ends. The Pixel 5 shoots at 4K at 60 frames per second, as well as giving more video and stabilization modes to the video setup. You have the standard mode for light movement, which is the default setting that comes with the phone, locks mode for taking faraway shots, active mode that is used for heavy movement, so when you're running and trying to film at the same time, stabilization comes in clutch, and finally my favorite mode, cinematic pan for smooth panning shots that adds a little bit of slow motion for dramatic effect. While the camera is one of the best things on the Pixel 5, it takes us to one of the worst things about the Pixel 5, which is the camera during video calls. Okay, so Google and the Pixel 5 are probably second or third when it comes to videos on their cameras. They have made significant improvements over the years and the Pixel 5 shows that. But one thing they failed to account is how video is when you're video calling someone. It is horrible. Okay, when I started using my Pixel 5, I called my brother on WhatsApp and the first thing he said to me was, "Why do you look so pixelated?" I thought maybe it was a one-time thing, but it kept occurring over and over again and it hasn't changed since. It feels like the video is sharpened to 100%, and comparing that with the iPhone 12 or the iPhone 11 Pro, the video call quality on the Pixel 5 is really bad, and it cuts across all video calling platforms like WhatsApp, Zoom, Google Meet, and others. I eventually use my iPhone or iPad to FaceTime the person I want to talk to. Over the last couple of months, I tried researching a solution, but so far I haven't found any. Are you guys facing the same situation? Comment below and let me know. Number 2, the performance. When I reviewed the Pixel 5 in November, I said, for the most part of my 2 weeks with the phone, performance has been very good and I haven't had any lags or stutters all through. While using it as my daily driver, the performance hasn't exactly been the same. It's not slow, don't get me wrong, it's not slow at all. It just glitches and lags every now and then, especially with certain apps. Using Twitter can be really stressful and annoying. Now, to give you an example or something that you guys can understand, now imagine you're playing, say, Call of Duty or Apex Legends, and you have like very huge packet loss and you're like 2 seconds behind your teammates, or when they're shooting you, you're kind of trying to dodge, but you're kind of skipping on your screen. That is exactly how this feels like. So I have to always close the app and reopen the app for it to be normal. And this cuts across so many apps like my WhatsApp and Instagram and so many other apps. It's really annoying and it's something that I have to deal with over the last couple of months. A lot of concerns were raised when Google announced that the Pixel 5 had a lower chipset than the Pixel 4. And those concerns were how well would the Pixel 5 perform in the next couple of years. Like I said, it's not slow, it's still pretty snappy, but as you use the phone every day, the Snapdragon 765G begins to show itself, and that can get pretty annoying when you use a phone or you're used to a phone that does not lag at all. I have used the iPhone 12 in the same time frame, and I have had no issues like this whatsoever. Number 3, the speakers. The front-facing speakers were a staple feature for Google from the Pixel 2, the Pixel 3, and even though the Pixel 4 had one bottom speaker and one in the front, it was still pretty decent. On the Pixel 5, it follows the Pixel 4's model but removes the front-facing speakers altogether for an under-display speaker. Now, this technology was acquired a few years ago that allows screen vibration to create sound. In theory, it sounds pretty cool, but in reality, it doesn't work very well. For calls though, it's pretty loud and clear, so you have no issues there, so I guess that the under-display speakers has a function in the end. Now, when I unboxed this, when I first got it, the speakers were one of the first things I noticed when I started playing music. Now, I have a lot of earbuds and I have a Google Home, so I don't really use the speakers on a daily basis. Maybe in the morning when I'm doing my morning routine and listening to podcasts, but apart from that, I don't really use it. But to be fair, it's not a deal breaker for me, and I don't think anybody should skip this phone just based on the speakers alone. Number 4, the Neural Core. Now, I know this may be a nitpick to some people, but for me, it's one of the worst things. For people that don't know, the Neural Core was in the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 3. It essentially helps with image processing time and how fast your phone processes photos from night shots, portrait shots, and other images you're going to take. Compare that with the Pixel 4, you'll see a difference. On the Pixel 5, it takes about 4 to 5 seconds to process a single photo. So if you're using the Pixel 5 to take pictures at once, it's going to be pretty annoying waiting 4 to 5 seconds for your image to process every time you view it. It's one of the worst things about the phone and I just don't like it. Hopefully by Pixel 6 it will return, but that remains to be seen. The price of the Pixel 5 is $699 at the moment, and to achieve this low price, they had to remove a few things, like the Neural Core, Project Solid, they had to give us a different chipset, they had to give us a different build quality, and they also removed the squeeze to assist function, amongst other things. And after removing all these things, the Pixel 5 is still sort of expensive. The additional $100 on the phone is due to the millimeter waves for its 5G component, a component that many people will not be able to use at the moment. If it were $100 cheaper, it will be a no-brainer, but at $699, it's in competition with the OnePlus 8T and the Samsung Galaxy Fan Edition. Spec sheet wise, it leaves a lot of room for consideration, but if you do want to buy the phone, I dropped an affiliate link in the description below. The Pixel 5 is a solid phone regardless, and I hope my top 5 best and worst things will help you make a buying decision. But what do you think about my list? Do you agree or disagree? Comment below and let me know. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you liked what you saw. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJOS, and I'll catch you guys in the next one where we talk all things tech.